This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Hey, so chat me up about Ron Killings here. Wade would write, the decision to give the belt to Ron Killings was puzzling to a number of people. TNA gave him an early run with the belt, and he quickly lost steam after he won the belt, and he has only recently regained the popularity he achieved prior to winning the title. It turns out Vince Russo and Scott D'Amore made a strong and successful push to convince Jeff Jarrett and Dutch Mantell to give Ron Killings the NWA title win on Wednesday night. Ron didn't find out until the day of the show he was winning the title. He was said to be frustrated when wrestlers warned him that his title reign would likely be a short one, since everyone expects Jeff Jarrett to win the title either before the show debuts on FS or shortly thereafter. So, a lot to unpack here, as I like to say.
Boy, is there.
When I first saw Ron Killings at the TNA show, the debut show, which, believe it or not, is 20 years ago this month here in June. It was right down the hill for me. You've been to my house. We have to pass the arena to get here. And I got to just putt down the road and go see TNA and thought, man, this is going to be special. We broke it down in our archives. Go watch that first episode and relive that. But my takeaway that night was one of them, hey, man, Ron Killings is going to be a big star. And I felt solid in that he was going to be one of the pillars of your promotion and a tippy top guy. And all these years later, he's still wrestling and making a great living and entertaining and putting smiles on faces. But it didn't happen exactly as I would have maybe imagined it might in June of 2002. Here we are a couple years later, though, and we're putting the belt back on him. And those negative Nancy's who say, oh, well, Jeff's going to do this or Jeff's going to do that. I don't know, man. It's pretty cool to have an NWA heavyweight championship run, even if it is short-lived. I don't think Tommy Rich or Kerry Von Erich would disagree with that either.
And this was his second go run.
Yes.
And I cannot jar my head for the life of me that knowing that we were coming on Fox Sports, and I know my philosophy and mentality that it's literally like you're starting a book, starting a movie. And I believe in establishing storylines. It's much easier and more productive and more lucrative to start with a heel champion. And then you immediately identify the folks that are going to chase it and kind of listen to the crowd and kind of look at things as they go. And one of them's going to pop out of the break, but go with that heel. You can establish a heel quicker. You can establish his, character traits and everything that go with it. But why we went from AJ to Ron and what the decision was made, me, my father, everybody internally we love Ron and his athleticism. I think people, you look at him today and he still moves just like he did 20 years ago, which is kind of amazing to me, but he does. But his charisma, and at this point, Conan and BG were the Three Live Crew. They were working with him. So I wish I could really recall. Maybe we can do an ad-free special and bring somebody back that can help us sort of navigate these waters. But Ron Killings you could always put the belt on him, and he elevated things. His charisma, he could talk, he could rap, he could work though.
A really special talent. Do you remember Russo and Scott trying to convince you and Dutch that this was the right call, or were you just not sold on Ron before? Or
well, the thing is, reading it back with no real. There's sometimes when I read the research that I'm absolutely positive that this is why this happened. This is why this happened. I don't know if maybe AJ couldn't be there the following week. He was going on vacation. I don't know why we wanted to transition it. And again, maybe the sheet writers that they got a little bit of information and said, hey, we had to do a hard sell on Dutch and Jeff. I just don't recall why we made that move. I don't recall them hard selling. I don't, here's what kind of, if anything, if you just take a step back and look, the hard selling would be me and Dutch hard selling Vince on Ron Killings. And I don't say that out of disrespect at all. And maybe it's not even a hard sell to Vince, but I just don't recall that at all.
It's just fun to go back and think about how these things got booked.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.